The White House is putting the ball, obviously, as Garrett said, in Nancy Pelosi's court, still demanding a full House vote before they even consider cooperating with them on impeachment matters. Former White House press secretary. And I might point out, the biggest star right now in Dancing with the Stars, he keeps going and going and going. Sean Spicer. Sean, good to see you.
Well, good to see you, Neil. And I'm only going and going because people are out there voting for us, so they got another chance Monday night. We'll keep going.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you're doing great, my friend. You know,
Thank you.
Sure, a lot of cynics might say it's your dance partner doing a lot of the work, but you are impressive in your own right. Are you surprised, by the way, that you're still in it?
Somewhat. I mean, look, the scores are 50-50. 50% of the judges, and clearly, you know, I've got a lot of work to do on that end. But I'm actually a little humbled by the fact that people are taking the time to act and vote there. And if they're voting for Lindsey, God bless them, and I'll take that too. But I think that we're out there having fun and showing people that we're working hard and progressing. And there's clearly a desire for enough people to want to see what comes next and what I'll wear. And, you know, so if that's what it takes to keep us going, I'm for it.
You topped the first week's outfit with the latest week. Do you select it? Who selects it?
Oh, they do, 100%. This week's Disney night, so we'll obviously I'll be in character, but it's always a surprise to see what they have in store.
Okay.
Well, I'll just say, if you follow me on Instagram, we're giving a lot away, a lot of hints.
You know what's interesting about it, and I will go into the news of the moment, but I've been very impressed watching on this show. You're having a good time, and I think you've won over even some of the critics early on who weren't a fan of, oh, we're politicizing this, and he's a controversial figure. I think you've warmed even their icy hearts.
Well, you know, it was actually interesting. I saw the comments that Ellen made last week with respect to sitting next to former President Bush. Right. And what we've gotten away in this country from is sort of saying we can be hard into our politics. We can believe in our policies. We can also enjoy each other's company in a way that's absent of those policies and politics once in a while and like each other for people. And what I love about this show, to be honest with you, is that we're all out there rooting for each other. We're having a good time. It's not about politics. It's not about policies. It's about each other. It's about going out, having fun, working hard, and cheering for each other. We're missing a lot of that in our country, Neil. And what I think people are seeing is, hey, I don't maybe like his politics. I don't like who he worked for. Or I do like who he worked for, or whatever. But for 2 hours, we get to just watch a bunch of people having fun, enjoying themselves. And I think that that's what we should be getting back to more in this country. Elections give us an opportunity to express ourselves, to campaign for a candidate or a policy or a referendum. But absent that, let's start enjoying each other more as people once in a while.
Well, I think it proves, to your point, we go for what we like at someone's core, and the politics don't matter. I think at the core, people like you, Sean. I think that's the bottom line there. So there's my bias, on a personal bias. But let's get back, if you don't mind, Sean, on where you see this political drama playing out. It is not Dancing with Stars. It is, you know, pretty nasty. And the feeling seems to be that it's building toward an impeachment of the President of the United States, at least in the House. It stops there, ends there, doesn't go much further than that from there. But what do you make of it?
Well, I think that's absolutely right. Look, you've got the House. The question is, does Pelosi have the votes? She has 31 Democrats that are sitting in districts that Trump won. She needs more than 18 of them. That's going to be sort of the question, is will more than 18? And I think that's part of what's holding back this vote, is not only will they vote, but then what does that do to their re-election prospects and their majority? And I think that's a big problem for Pelosi right now. She recognizes the further that she assuages the far left, the less that she has a grip on not only her majority, but a future House majority for them. Second, to your point, I think there's no question that the Senate is a full stop. That's where it ends. So they might get their vote in the House, but it's a wasted vote because it goes to the Senate and it'll die. The problem further in the House is that the way that the Democrats have handled this is pretty ridiculous. So Pelosi announced the impeachment prior to them seeing the transcript of the call, hearing from the testimony. Schiff is out there reading a false narrative. I mean, not a false narrative. He's making up the testimony that was in the thing to sort of create drama around it, admits that he falsified it for effect. I don't think that they've handled this in a way that has instilled confidence in the American people and has further created a sense that this is just a political vendetta the Democrats have against the president.
But what if all they want in the end, Sean, is to say going into the general election, our nominee versus the impeached president of the United States. That's all they want.
Yeah, I think that's what they want, but I think the problem with this is that what they've done is really created fault lines. So there might be a bunch of people on the fence, and what you're seeing with a lot of even never-Trumpers is they're saying, okay, I'm not always comfortable with what the president says, but this isn't the way to handle it, and they're falling on the side of the president, and so they are creating a fault line that might not be necessary, especially in some of these key districts. And the way they're overstepping this, I think, has started to create people who might be a little bit uneasy here and there, and saying, gosh, I don't think this is the right way to handle this. I don't like the way the Democrats are going too far. I'll side with President Trump. And I think that this is the danger that they've created. To assuage the far left, the socialist progressive left of their party, they're going to this extreme that I think may be to their peril going into the general election.
I don't want to put you on the spot. You're your own man. But I do think that sometimes the president feeds the beast himself. You know, if you go attack him or say something, you know, that isn't supportive of him, it's, you know, hell. Mitt Romney is an ass. He lost an election he easily could have won. Every Republican hates him. He should be impeached in Utah, and on and on and on. When you worked with him, did you ever advise him, look, I know this is your abrupt style, Mr. President. I know it works. I know you're President of the United States, but you got to cool it on that stuff.
The hard part that I had, Neil, is, sure, of course I would give him my suggestions and advice all the time. The problem is that the president generally was right, in the sense that when he does this, look at the fault line that I talked about that he's created. He says all these things, and he's got a rock-solid base. These people on the Republican side will march through him thick and thin.
But you need more than that, right? I mean, if you're an independent, you need more than that, right?
You do, but you need an intensified base that is going to go out there through thick and thin, that is going to campaign for you, put up that yard sign, make the 8 extra phone calls. And right now, he has created this army of folks on the right that will do everything to protect him. That's much better than having a loose base with a bunch of folks at the top that are kind of with you. And so he has sort of traded the dynamic. And he traded this last cycle and won. And everybody told him, you can't do it like this. He did it. He pushed aside all of the political pundits, all the experts, and he won. And he won with states that we hadn't won since '88. So it's really hard to look back and give him advice and say, hey,
in all those states. And the polls, again, they're passing. I get that. But do you think he should lighten up a little bit? I'm not saying go on Dancing with Stars, but be a little more self-deprecating?
I've always found that when the Trump that I've known, who has got an empathetic side, who shows kindness to people that I've seen firsthand, strangers, people he's known, I think that I'd love to see people know that more. That watch him put out that hand that he does.
But he does not show that, Sean. He doesn't show it. I don't know why, but he doesn't show it.
And so I've always... and so as far as I'm concerned, I've always thought that it would be really great if people could see that side of him, because I've seen it firsthand, and I've seen him extend that hand when someone's in a time of need. I think the more people see of that, the better. But I think he's going into an election where they want toughness, and it's hard to be bipolar, where you're saying, I'm really, really tough, but I can be kind here, too.
Maybe if you just gave him one of your outfits for a national speech, that would just jolt people.
That would be a bad idea. Bad idea.
Sean, continued success, my friend. You deserve every bit of it. We're watching closely. Good luck this week.
Thanks, Neil.
All right.